Blessings and welcome, my sisters and my brothers. Welcome to the Law of One. I am Robert, humble messenger. It's such a pleasure to speak with you. It's my honor to share with you conscious channeling of LL research. I like to talk to you about how one may discover their gifts, how to determine what it is that might be the most helpful and beneficial thing for a person to do in their life pattern. I am Quo. Greetings in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. May we say, as always, what a privilege it is to be called to your group. You wished for more information upon how to recognize your gifts, those things which you have to offer in love to the Creator and to those about you. We begin with those things which are most basic, the beingness and the relative universal experience of sacrificing oneself in an attempt to rear a young soul to its best advantage rather than your own. Let us look now a bit further. One who practices the presence of the infinite creator and can stop the mouth and open the ears may rest in a special kind of gift, the gift of presence. This is not the gift of being, for an entity with this gift is one who seeks out the broken and the painful with hands wide open to heal and hearts open to listen. For there is a great deal of damage done throughout an entity's lifetime, though only a very small portion of its damage done to the physical vehicle. Practicing the presence and listening is a universal service. It can never go awry. For as you listen, you support and you forgive, and you enable a soul who is troubled to move closer to practicing the presence of its own Creator. There is a practice which is also most helpful, but difficult to describe in language. It is the state of non-ego, for want of a better term. It is a state of being which has no personality, and therefore no dynamic tension. This utter passivity is not what it seems, for it is the result of giving away all those things which stand between the consciousness of the self and the consciousness of mystery. Well, it is that an entity have the gift and the talent of egolessness. But the real entity which has this gift is perhaps the most accurate mirror any spiritual seeker may have. Now, let us speak of gifts in a different sense. The sense that we believe you meant when you asked this query of us. and that is the gifts or talents which one brings through the incarnational process. Each entity has preferences. Each entity has skills and areas of negative skills. Each entity has likes and dislikes, biases too deep to explain. It is not of service to others to express the self if the self has not examined deeply that which is its desire, that which is its joy, that which gives its contentment, pleasure, or the feeling of something well done. This is different for each entity. For each entity comes into the experience of reincarnation with an unique bias, personality, and set of talents or gifts. The one mistake an entity may make that is a serious error is to offer the gifts of the surface, of the self. Instead, one who wishes to offer gifts to others must, needs, make the journey within. To seek that seat of joy and peace that is the center of that soul's unique being. For each entity could not be in manifestation were there not a core of perfect wholeness and divine light within. Thus, one who seeks to offer to others gifts must first move through the process of gazing beneath the surface of things, finding those areas of interest, which may translate into help for another, or for giving glory and praise to the one Creator. When you look at your gifts, look not only at those things which you do well, your activities at which you are accomplished, but also look below the surface of things to find the energies within you moving deeply and spontaneously, so that you may spontaneously offer that which is given you only by intuition. Your people are locked in darkness of manifestation, and so you are. Yet within you there is light immeasurable. To be able to find and trust the intuitions which move from the light to the mind is most helpful. For one truly does not ever know when one is serving. One merely attempts such and leaves the outcome in the hands of the one to whom the gift has been given. For it matters not to the giver if the gift is appreciated or not, but only if the gift is given freely and gladly, without the nagging expectation of being paid back. We speak here of very deep and intuitional gifts, such as the gift of peacemaker, the gift of true humility, the gift of sympathy, These gifts mean a great deal to many who very much appreciate the sharing of these energies. For not all entities can move to that intuitional place where the hope of peace is true, where the hope of consolation is true. You will notice that we have spoken mostly of the passive gifts, for they are the most important. In those passive and often non-dramatic gifts lie the most free will, which entities may give each other. It is respecting and treating each other as colleague and not as a student to be taught. Thus, no matter what the seeming situation in regards to titles, responsibilities, and honors, no matter how many dramatic gifts an entity may have, one may still rate those passive willingness to listen and to forgive, to understand, to make peace, to find union where there was none. The gift of humility is especially rare, but it is a resting place for all those who pass by, as they rest in the bosom of one who is no judge, but only sees all as beloved beings whom one wishes to serve. Now, in order to keep this shorter, as this instrument has requested, we move to the active gifts that undoubtedly were held in mind when the question about sharing gifts was asked. Each entity has a list, short or long, of talents within the illusion. It is difficult to serve fully while staying fully within the illusion. However, that which one has as a gift, one has for a reason. For each soul has chosen its manifestation and fully intends to use each of them. Thus, as the seeker moves along the path, he notices, without false pride and without false humility, those things at which he is good, and those things at which he is not. The situation often arises where the talent of an entity is needed. It is neither aggressive nor egotistical to offer wholeheartedly one's talents in the service of the Infinite One. And so, a great service is simply to offer that which one knows one may do well for the entity about it. The only damage done to this kind of giving of service is a grudging heart. Thus, each day it is well for the spirit to ask itself not what its gifts are, but what is blocking it from being a person at peace. A person aware of infinity, a person ready to turn the attention outward to the needs of others. If this is not your attitude with which one awakens, then it is well to look within in consciousness to simplify, clarify, and understand the self, and by understanding to have compassion upon the self, so that one does not use one's talents in any negative way. It is the responsibility of the seeker to be firm with the self about the positive use of talents. The essence of manifested talents is simple. In fact, it is so simplistic that it is difficult to comprehend. When one is in a situation of wishing to be of service, one is already many steps behind the entity which simply is of service and has responded spontaneously to whatever catalyst is given it. In other words, we wish each soul to follow that which makes it joyful and peaceful and positive and hopeful, and to live in those affirmative vibrations, so that when a call comes, it is heard purely with an unselfish ear and an unblemished heart. So many of your people believe that they serve others, yet because they do not await the balancing and the asking, they become those who are stumbling blocks to others, insistent upon this or that tenet of truth, philosophy, or spirituality. There is no truth within your density, except within the heart of your own consciousness, and similarly, within the heart of each consciousness with whom you come in contact. Oftentimes, gifts are learned and then put away like old clothes in a trunk in the attic. And then, one day, deep intuition speaks to the self of a spontaneous need to share a particular gift. We are not specific here, for there are as many gifts as there are entities. Now, as you gaze at your gifts within the illusion, you may count those artifacts of the human heart and intellect as the writing, the speaking, the poetry, the music, the dance, and all of those creative gifts which pour through one as sweet as wine, blessing all upon whom they fall. If the spirit is clear, deep intuition expresses itself in saying, use this gift now and use it for the love of the one infinite creator. Most puzzling are those entities which have various gifts, talents, which are not used, seemingly. But we say to you that each and every gift of talent, subjectively perceived by an entity, has a purpose. and the purpose will come forward in due time. This instrument, for instance, questions why it was given the ability to dance, and then given the disability of arthritis, which causes the dance to be clumsy and footsore. Notice that without the gift of dance, this particular entity would not be able to move at all. Many, many times, the gift of singing or of playing a musical instrument is that gift which creates an atmosphere of love, safety, and peace within an abode which may be in need of these things. There are gifts one does not often think of. The gift, for instance, of gab, as this instrument would call it, one whose joy is in small talk, passing the time of day, sharing in any way what occurs, the life as it is happening, is an entity who will remove loneliness from the consciousness of those about it. Such entities seldom know the wonderful gift they bring to manifested experience and the catalyst they offer. Those who are melancholy by nature and have no small talk or laughter of their own. The first laughter may be very rusty, but in time, a melancholy soul with faith in the gift of laughter, which has been manifested to it, will learn to share in that gift, and so give glory to the one infinite creator by lightening consciousness upon the planet. The key to recognizing one's gifts has been already written down in two seemingly paradoxical ways. One is the statement, "Not my will, but thine," spoken by the teacher known to you as Jesus. The other is that willingness to pitch in and do all such good works as appear before one to do. How can one both surrender and volunteer? This is a cause of great study and worthy of its own time for discussion. If the gift has been given to you that does not make you happy, it is not a gift that was intended to be used in polarization in service to others, for it is following the gift that makes one happy. Evanescent as that concept is, that assures the seeking entity of being at the right place at the right time to be of service in its unique way. Not my will, but thine. How can one be of service when one has only the deeper feelings of the heart to inform one as to divine will, or the higher self as opposed to the self in manifestation, which is blind, deaf, and dumb to the actuality of the experience to which you now dance? It is well for the young soul in your culture to choose that which the entity does in order to create the energy to live on the basis of that which appeals to one. For it is a gift to no one to be wealthy and uncomfortable and unhappy. It is far more a gift in one's poverty to offer enjoy the talent which one has. Gifts and talents come in all shapes and sizes. There are unusual and eccentric gifts which still are able to help others. The gift, for instance, of the gifted mechanic who can listen to a complicated piece of machinery and by ear alone detect that which is not correct in the machine. There is the gift of sight, simple, physical sight. When it is acute and keen, it may be used as a gift, as one looks at what gives one joy and expresses to those who cannot see with loving eyes the energies upon canvas, or the sculpture from clay, wood, or stone. It is a gift given to each and every entity that is self-conscious to express itself, and in expressing itself, to learn how to support itself. This may be done in many ways. It is a gift given to each and every entity that is self-conscious to express itself, and in expressing itself, to learn how to support the expression of those about it. And this may be done in many ways.